Hey, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to the 11th episode of the Collective Perspective podcast. I am blessed to be with a very good friend of mine, Ethan.
How's it going?
I know it's been a little while since we've done an episode. Just a lot of things have
A
been
little bit.
going on. Just a little bit of
A
time.
little
But we're coming back with a absolute banger that's going to be really valuable.
Yeah, you guys are
Just
gonna love this one.
yes, this is all about building connections and networking. But
Get your
before,
notepad.
yes, definitely. Before we get into it, I just want to say some quick updates with how we're going to be structuring the podcast. So, moving forward, instead of doing the longer episodes, I'm going to be doing more short form episodes, but more frequently. So, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So, about
Yeah.
networking. So, as we all know, networking is very important. You can never know too much about networking, but how do you really build that solid network is what is really important.
Yeah,
Uh,
and so what is networking in general? Networking is building connections with other people that you didn't know before,
mhm.
maybe in a certain field that you're trying to get an expertise in. And some may know that, some of you may not know that, and that's okay. And so we're going to talk about the connections within our networking skills and how that all works. Anthony, you want to build it off?
Sure. So, what is most crucial about really getting into that network and building those connections is being valuable because nobody
Mm.
really likes to be with somebody that's like wants to take something from them. You can
Yep.
viscerally feel it when someone is looking to get something out of you. So I think the most important
Yeah,
question that you need to be asking is what is it that I can provide? Without even really asking what it is that you can get in return, first ask what you can give that other person.
yep.
Because
Yep. And personal.
especially, yes, because especially those high value people that you want to network with, they know a lot of people and they are always around other people that are trying to pick their brain or something like that, which who wants to get their brain picked? Like, come on, like that sounds like you're coming in with a scalpel or something. Like
Yeah.
that
And they're
doesn't
not going to
sound
do something for you that you didn't do for them. Just like you
exactly
said, Yeah. Yeah.
because you're the one that's getting the value. You aren't providing them with anything that they need. So the
Yeah. That
most
they,
important, yes, the most important part of networking is building yourself into that highest version of yourself, that 2.0 version, so you can really be able to provide that value and get your foot in the door. But
yeah.
I think just giving people good vibes is also really good because that still makes a really big difference because everyone's life is really fucking difficult. We all got a lot of shit going on. So if you can just make someone just like have a like slightly better day and just like laugh or smile, that makes a really big difference. Like even just like the small things, they make a really big difference.
You know what? Since we touched on the main overall, like how to, perceive networking and how to go about it,
Hmm.
right? You know what? Let's jump into one thing that we said before this. Um, how do you talk to people, right? Portray yourself like
Mm,
you're meeting your girlfriend's parents.
I like that.
Every business professional, meet them like you're talking to their parents, right? You don't
Mm,
talk to their parents like, oh yeah, I know, I don't know. No, you talk to them like, yes, this is exactly how it is, right? No,
mm,
because you're not giving them BS and side stuff, right? You're
mm.
giving them straight facts, and that's how it always is. I mean, what do you think about that, man?
I agree with it completely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yep.
I think also like me like their your parents, but also like you already have like a good level of rapport. Like not overly doing it, but have like some sort of level where it's like you assume you have a connection. While it's still portraying it in a professional manner, you still kind of have like a cordial connection, and
Mm,
that way you can really build on that rapport
yeah.
because as like whatever you focus on expands more. So if you focus on having like a really solid connection, then that is what will develop. But I mean, of
Got
course,
that one.
you need
Yeah.
to take it as a grain of salt, and like depending on where you are, like you don't want
Yeah.
to take it too far, which you can. But I mean, what I found is if you treat someone like you've like known them for a while, then that's just like kind of how it is.
Yep. Yep. Oh, I mean, like, it's set in stone that way. You can't really adjust your like persona on that person anymore. Like the one person you're trying to network with, if you're treating them like that, like how you're saying, it kind of gives them that peace of mind that it's not technically important, but like, you haven't met them. You know what I mean? Like you're not like their friend, right? Like it's a business professional, and then going along with what you said, it's not it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes.
So it's not what you're saying to them, it's how you're saying it to them, right? Just like you're talking to the girlfriend's parents, it's how you're saying it to them, right? And networking is literally, I actually just said, just doing it, right? So it's always a no until you do it, right? So there's always that overlooming, well, what if? It's always going to be a what if until you do it, right? So that personal connection, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly. And that really goes off of what you focus on as well, because if you focus on like not being awkward, then you're low-key focusing on being awkward. Whereas if you're focusing on building, already having that rapport, but while still keeping it in a professional and respectful manner, but still having like kind of a friendly manner to it, and that makes a really big difference because
I think everyone's had that like nervousness when they're about to talk to someone.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, of course. And I always say to everyone, like, you need to fake the confidence. Ready? Listen to this. Ready, Anthony? When you're talking to someone and you've never done something before, imagine yourself like you have done it, and then just do it. Like, what's stopping you, right? It's the exact thing that would be perfect in this scenario. So why can't you, right? And everyone always has these, if I did that, it would probably work. Like, yeah, you're right, but you didn't, right? So, yeah, it's to just do it. Yep.
And what I've found to be extremely useful in presentations and public speaking and meeting new people are, so whenever you feel nervousness, there's a lot of negative self-talk that goes into your minds where it's, oh no, I'm nervous, like try not to be nervous, and you're only promoting that nervousness. Whereas there's a fact that nervousness and excitement are very similar in the body. They have very similar sensations. They both feel almost exactly identical. The only difference between the two different sensations is the mindset that you have while you're in them. Because if you're excited, you have that racing heart, but you like it because it's exciting. So if you, instead of thinking, when you feel that sensation of like tightness in your chest or racing heart, instantly thinking, oh no, I'm nervous, don't be nervous. Instead, think to yourself, oh, this is excitement. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Like, how would I do this if I was excited? Yeah. Yep.
Not even that. Like, this is excitement because I'm excited to make the best first impression that I've ever made.
Yeah.
Or do the best presentation that I've ever done before. And with that mindset, you will fucking destroy it. You will destroy it. I've been in situations where I was super nervous in presentations and I tried not to be nervous and I just fucking bombed. I bombed. It was so bad. I forgot everything. All my notes were out of order. I just I don't know how I didn't fail that presentation. It was bad.
Dude, just this morning I was sweating fucking bullets because of connections or the network. I was scared of if I was gonna have this correct, if I was doing it right, or if I was saying the right things. Yeah, I mean everyone has that exactly.
And it's like don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you're gonna make mistakes regardless. I've had a lot of situations where I've been pushing my comfort zone with new people, and it's just been like, I just said stupid shit, especially when
Yeah.
I was younger and I was a lot more nervous. But it doesn't matter. Like, I'm still alive. I didn't die. Like, it wasn't that bad. Like, the worst that could happen is like a short, awkward interaction, but you learn from the situation. That's the most important thing, is that you learn from the situation. I hear Discord chats in the background. I don't know what they are.
Oh, my bad. No, no. I completely agree with you. And it's always like constantly, visualizing and looking at yourself and just keeping up with, like, do you think you're doing the best you can? Just like you said, if you visualize you doing, the best presentation that you can and doing your absolute best, right, you will. And I mean, we've all gone through it. We've all been in that situation where we're not going to be, totally satisfied with what's going to happen, or, the situation at hand. It's just, you have to do it, and those networks, that's where it comes from. Building connections is all up to you. I mean, I think Anthony covered that pretty well,
Definitely.
What do you think, boss?
Could you repeat what you said?
No, you know what? Wrapping up, building connections with people is up to you. And you have to treat people, right, like you're talking to your girlfriend, right? It's the best way to do it. But when you have the enthusiasm, like Anthony said, right, and the drive to, for your product or for whatever you're doing, really, right? That's how you create the enthusiasm to other people and build those connections. Otherwise, you won't have, perfect, you'll never have like perfect symmetry with how you're talking and how you're doing it without visualizing it yourself, before.
I feel like,
yes. Oh, my bad.
No, I was gonna go on like a slightly related topic, but I'll do it after you finish.
No, I was about to say that you and I are actually, making some sales, and like,
Yes,
we don't understand like the other person until we were in that chair, like on the call with them, man. And like then you start to be interpersonalism with them, and like, or interpersonalized, I meant, and like you don't even know the guy, right? And so now you're talking to him, and you're like, oh, this is me, right? First time meeting him, yeah, and you're pretty nervous. It's not easy, and those are your connections.
Yes, I just want to say, don't let your mind bitch you out of the success that you want, because I notice this all the time in myself. There's always a voice in your head that always is like, oh yeah, what if this happens, or if you don't do this because this might happen, or just with like David Goggins and I'm trying to think of his other name. It's Penitentiary Life. I forget what the fuck his name is. He's a badass motherfucker. But
hell yeah.
There will always be a voice that tries to dissuade you from taking the steps that you know are necessary for you to move forward. So don't negotiate with that bitch in your head. Be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do this shit anyway. I'm gonna do this shit anyway.
Exactly.
Whatever happens, and regardless of how it goes, I'm still gonna learn from it and become that best version of myself. So I think that is a solid place to end. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you,
Join
Ethan.
in next time.
Yes, thank you, Ethan, for jumping on. And I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. Peace and love.
Hey, build those connections, everyone.
Yes, sir. Build those connections. Take those steps out.